Three, two, one. Oh, hang on, wait.
Oh, you don't just count down and then just say, hang on.
Okay,
Jeez. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cooldown Room pod. We host Daniel and Alex, and we're finally together after a couple weeks split apart. This weekend was the Japanese Grand Prix. Yes, sad face indeed. But this weekend, Japanese Grand Prix, had it all. There was some better racing this time around. And we've got some history made across the weekend too, Alex, with young gun Kimi Antonelli making history as the youngest ever championship leader in Formula One. But before we get into that, though, how are you?
I am good, and our much anticipated audience are happy to see us both back, and so are we. So I'm very excited to be back. Joined by you. Obviously, I had a solo pod a couple weeks ago, then you did one last week, so we're back together now, and it's good because solo pods are difficult. But I'm very much looking forward to talking once again about how bad F1 is for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Well put. And how bad these regulations are. But before we get into that, though, obviously be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, or if you're new here. And also check out our social media, because for those watching later on throughout the week, you might not know this until now. We're actually live streaming our podcast over on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. So be sure to follow our social media, and you can stay up to date and find out when we're doing it, so you can actually get involved into the pod. And whenever you ask a question, we will answer it, give or take. So be sure to do that. But the Japanese Grand Prix had it all. Rollovers in the Porsche, a 50G impact, extremely slow super clipping. Man, where should we start?
Well, from the beginning, we had 22 cars start the Grand Prix, including...
We did.
Drum roll, please. Oscar Piastri. And then he took the lead.
Yeah, he took the lead on debut after an incredible start. Mind you, both Mercedes struggled again to get off the line, but Oscar, mate, is technically his second race start of the year, if you include the sprint. But he got off to the line so beautifully. And Charles Leclerc did pretty well as well. But unfortunately, he ultimately ended up in second due to the safety car. But still, even though you missed out on the last few rounds, it's really crucial for him to get that podium.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of firsts to happen this week. We had Oscar Piastri start, we had 22 cars start the race, we had an Aston Martin finish, we've now got, as you said before, a youngest ever championship leader. A lot of things happened this week. It was actually quite entertaining until it became extremely dangerous. The safety car you mentioned was caused by a monumental speed difference between Franco Colapinto and Ollie Bearman, which sent Ollie Bearman taking avoiding action and ended up on the grass out of control and hit a fence with a 50G incident, which surprisingly he walked away from. Bit limpy, but after that he said it was okay, which is the main thing. Thank goodness. And also another good thing is because the Saudi and Bahrain Grand Prix have been cancelled, he now has a bit more time to recover. And I think everyone's honestly happy about this break, to be honest.
No, I agree. Especially for the regulations. They are in fact going to have meetings throughout April in terms of what can be done, if there's anything is anything going to be done, sort of thing. But for comparison, by the way, Max Verstappen's crash back in 2021 at Silverstone, if you remember that was 56G. And that rattled him quite a bit that day. So to see Ollie Bearman walk away with that one with just a little limp, it's pretty remarkable. It could have been a whole lot worse. But it should not, again, we say this time and time again, every single Formula One review, it should not be happening.
No, and in a way, the Carlos Sainz post-race interview really summed it up really well. In a way, this is going to sound really odd, but I'm glad this happened because now it proves that the drivers are correct the cars are very dangerous. Something like this was going to happen, and it did. And the FIA were not listening. They even said this last year when the regulations came out that this could be a thing. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, what they can do, but what they should do is get rid of it. All of it. Just ditch it all.
Yeah, well put. I said it last time. No, I said it... Was it before the season began where I said they should just switch to V10s and call it a day?
It was literally day one of the season. Practice.
That's right. Just ditch the electric power altogether, or go back to last year's engines. You know, at least we knew they were okay. Well, a lot better than this anyway.
No, but it's not actually the engines doing this, Daniel. It's the battery.
It's the battery.
It's the battery, and the way it works is just ridiculous. It's moronic.
But the 50-50 doesn't work. No. Especially with the size of the battery they've got now. But what I want to talk about, though, is Franco Colapinto, because, yes, it wasn't his fault that the car slowed down as much as it did, but he should have stuck to one side of the road. The crash mostly happened purely because Franco went to the left from the right, which was a bit, how you going? And that's just unfortunate for Ollie. Ollie had nowhere to go. But then again, like I said, it's not Franco's fault that the car was super slow. Like, super clipping, they actually didn't really... They rarely showed the onboard footage around 130R, purely because they didn't want anyone to know the fact that they lost 90 Ks in that corner, which is crazy.
No, it's ridiculous. And back to the Franco bit, all he was trying to do was a very normal, like, kind of blocking maneuver heading into a corner. But, like you said, the difference in speed was 90 kilometers... No, sorry. That actually was the figure as well. It was 90 kilometers an hour speed difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's nothing you can really do in that regard. And I'm glad the FIA didn't penalise him. It did get looked into during the race, but I'm glad they didn't penalise him because it wasn't his fault. It would have been a real dog act for the FIA to... penalize someone based off their own mistakes, which is what's happened. So they did well in that regard, but yeah, Carlos Sainz said it, if this accident happened at Baku or happened, even Canada or something where there's less runoff room, couldn't imagine what the implications would have been.
That would have been bad. That'd be really bad, actually. Then again, Suzuka isn't forgiving either. You know, we've seen some pretty shocking crashes throughout the years. True. But with that being said, though, we did see some at least semi-decent racing this weekend. Obviously, last few years in Japan, it's been extremely lackluster because the cars are just too wide and no one can overtake each other in DRS. But we did see a bit of that. Obviously, a lot of follow me moments, but we did see some cool overtakes from Lando, Hamilton, Russell, Russell as well, but Leclerc especially. That outside move against George was pretty cool.
Man.
And even Gasly as well. How good did he drive this weekend to hold Max?
Yeah, he didn't pass anybody. Literally nobody. He started 7th, finished 7th, and for 50-odd laps, he didn't pass anyone. He had Max up his trumpet for most of the race, and like you said, he held him off, but that would have been boring as.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But back to your comment there, Daniel, on the racing being more action-packed. It was, but once again, all for the wrong reasons.
Exactly.
The artificialness of the racing is good. However, is apparent, I should say. However, what was good, and I don't know if you'd realised this until now, but the top four, the four that were in a battle, it was basically both Mercedes, both Ferraris for a while, and a few McLarens. There was a gap between... I think it was Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, and Norris. All of them were in about 2.5, 3 seconds of each other. So they were... Well, the only good thing these regulations have done is being able to follow cars in front a lot better. And even the top three in the cooldown room actually said that after the race. They said you can follow a lot better, but everything else is just rubbish.
Yeah.
That's
and you're right about the battles as well. Again, it was still artificial because obviously the amount of speed they gained on the straight with the battery really had a factor in it. Like whoever had the most battery was able to get the pass done. And again, that's just not racing in my opinion. It never will be. Unless it's Formula E, that's completely different. But it's not Formula 1. You know, we don't want artificial racing. We want real racing by real drivers, you know, nothing computerized or controlled by the car. But then again, like we did see some moments like Leclerc going around the outside. That was cool. But I tell you what, Kimi drove... He had an interesting race because obviously he drove incredibly well, set fast lap, but it could have been a lot different if it wasn't for the safety car because in the early stages of the race, he had no pace compared to Russell.
No, they were saying this on the commentaries that when the Mercedes were behind other cars, unlike the first race, they weren't really able to make the most of it. They weren't able to pass as easily as they were able to in Melbourne and even China. So I don't know if that's just the Suzuka layout being a bit more difficult to overtake in that regard. I think so because, like, you know, turn one, if you don't get someone, you're waiting until almost the back straight to do something about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know, it's difficult in that regard. So I think that's the reason why they struggled to get through the field after their once again horrible start. But once they had the clean air, Kimi just drove away, and he made up 13 seconds in only 20 odd laps. Like, it wasn't that long, wasn't that much time because he only led from the safety car onwards, and that happened about halfway through. And then Piastri was keeping up with him a little bit at the start of the safety car restart. Then after that, he was gone. Absolutely gone.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. He was just in his own world after that. But Piastri did well to hold his ground against George, and like in the early half of the race. But even then, when George was catching up, he did really well to hang on. And it just shows when the car it's like what Piastri said at the end. When we start these things, it's quite amazing what you can do.
That might be one of the best radio messages of the year.
Oh, it was incredible. It was the most Oscar thing ever. But it's true though, you know, it's actually good to see, and when you compare it to Norris as well, how good Piastri is, you know. And hopefully, if he has more luck this season, we hopefully can see him up there a lot more. Because he definitely drove really well this time around. And I still remember a couple years ago, 2024, just comparing him against Lando, saying like Lando was just miles better than him at the time in Japan. But now we head to 2026 and it's the other way around.
To be honest, man, I don't really... Maybe when Oscar's first year... I don't remember a time where Oscar wasn't better than Lando. And even last year when they won the World Championship. I don't believe it. I think Lando is not as good as Oscar. And if these regulations are going to do one thing, it's going to show that is the case. So fingers crossed Oscar can keep it up for the rest of the year. And yeah, like you said, it's funny when you start the race, you end up doing pretty well. But I got to ask though, do you think if there was no safety car, would he have won?
To be honest, there would have been a much higher chance, for sure, because George struggled in the second half of the race. If you factor that in,
the hard tyres made it difficult.
It did, but if Piastri was able to maintain because he was gaining before the pit stop, before his first pit stop anyway, so there's no doubt. Like at the end of the day, the safety car gave Kimi a fantastic opportunity to win. I'm not saying the safety car is the reason he won, because his pace definitely showed otherwise. But it definitely put him in a really good spot to get the job done. So if it wasn't for the safety car, no doubt Piastri would either finish where he was now or would have got the win.
Well, Bryce in the comments disagreed and said, to be honest, no, I don't think he would have won. And I'm kind of on the same page with Bryce. I think someone would have caught him, whether it would have been George or Kimi. I don't know. I still think it would have been on the podium, but yeah, I do agree that with the part you said, we would have had a better chance. That's true. A few comments coming in. Bryce said we saw in Melbourne and China that the Merc can't outrace cars. Courtney said, I'm sure the Aero would be great. Better than Aero than RB. True. And she's written here, what was with Williams testing? Like, didn't we do that in February? I thought that was this year.
Yeah, that was interesting from them because obviously, you know, since James Vowell joined, the whole hype was it's a new era for the team and they're preparing for this season. Last year, they did really well. This year, they're absolute dog. They're nowhere near where they should be, especially Japan, this weekend in Japan. Like, what's going on?
But I'm not really blaming them for this lackluster in performance. It is the regulations. Aston Martin, you know, like same boat. They built a brand new $400 million factory, wind tunnels, investments, Adrian Newey, and they're stone dead last. So it's not just Williams that are struggling. Red Bull is struggling.
Red Bull is struggling.
Red Bull won the last 4 years, if not the last. Yeah. You can even be a bit pessimistic and say they've won the last like 7 or 8 years at some points.
Yeah. But we saw the exact same thing happen to Mercedes when we switched in 2022. You know, they went from dominating from 2014 to being nowhere. Very similar story. But one thing that again just shows that they're making progress is Audi. You know, they're always there in the 10. It's great to see. I can't remember where they finished overall.
I'll find it.
But they've done pretty well this season in their first season as not only as a race team but also a power unit supplier.
Unfortunately for them, they finished 11th and 13th. However, they started higher than that, but the start very Mercedes-esque. So they just couldn't make up the time they lost from the beginning. Apart from that, though, I can't really think of... Well, you mentioned Gasly before, and they're insane. Well, they're probably the only team that's gone up. Let's think about it. I mean, besides them, Mercedes and Ferrari, they've been the biggest jump. Like, I think they've already scored more points this year than they did last year already.
Well, they're in the 10 for the first time this year. I don't remember I'm going to have a look, see the last time they were in the 10.
Well, actually, they're top 5. Oh my god, they're tied with Red Bull.
Wow.
They are tied with Red Bull. Well, when I say they, it's Gasly.
Yeah.
When I say they, it is Gasly, and he does have 15 of the 16 points. Colapinto does have 1 point.
That's crazy.
That just goes to show. That is... Alpine are tied on points with Red Bull Racing. That is nothing... Well, not something I thought I would say this year.
So the last time we saw Alpine in the 10 was in Miami. Apparently.
When you're saying in the 10, you mean just in a race?
In a race, yeah. Apparently. I could be wrong.
No, sorry, not
Miami. Brazil.
Say,
That's the last time. No. I saw Miami, but that's actually coming up. That's what I saw. But yeah, Brazil last year's last time we saw Gasly in 10th position. But I did say they could be decent with Mercedes power, and it just showed. Yes, they're still Alpine, so they're still struggling. But and you can say that Red Bull and Max were struggling as well. But still solid result for Pierre. Definitely, take that home. But
well,
Pierre
is ahead of Max in the championship too.
That's great. That was not on my bingo card this year. No. But Max though, he is. I tell you what, you know, could he walk from the sport? You know, I don't think he will, but every time he goes out there, I feel like he's thinking about it.
Well, I'll just say one more thing about the championship standings. Max is only 2 points ahead of Liam Lawson.
Only 2?
Jeez.
No.
Yep. It is god awfully bad.
That's how you know the cars are just garbage.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they are all. So Max, Liam, Alvin, Isaac are all behind Behrman, who didn't finish the race.
Can I just say, how good was Alvin this weekend? Besides, it's such unfortunate the fact they finished 14th or something, or 11th.
Yeah,
but he did really well. The fact that he actually pushed Max out of Q3, which is quite funny. But then he drove. Like he's done really well this season. I must say. I could definitely see once Max leaves, he'll be there for sure. But yeah, no, he did really well.
Yeah, 100%. So Liam Lawson finished not right behind. He was still 18 seconds behind, but behind Max. If they had swapped, they would literally be swapped in the championship. It's just nuts.
Wow,
it's ridiculous. It's funny as.
That's crazy.
You mentioned Audi before, and unfortunately, I'll bring it up here again. But Hulkenberg's one of the 6 drivers to not score a point yet. Pretty evident who that would be. It's him, Albon, both Cadillacs, both Astons. So the fact that Nico still hasn't scored a point in a car that is very much capable to do so is a bit disappointing. But like I said, it's just their starts. It's literally just their starts that get in their way.
Yeah, it's the same with Mercedes, but the difference with Mercedes is they've actually got the power and the performance to actually make up for it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, I know that you said Hulkenberg is yet to score a point. I reckon if he actually made it to the grid in Australia, that would have been the day he would have gotten it. Because we saw how good Bortoletto was that day. And one of my predictions was double points for Audi. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It will.
He got very close this time around. Like you said, with Ocon just squeezing in there. Only a there's like nothing between them either, like a second or so. No, actually a second.
Yep.
Between the two, so I reckon he can get it very soon. Maybe Miami, hopefully. Monaco's going to be interesting though, because for context, I was on the sim today. I did Monaco. By the way, it's extremely bouncy on the motion sim. It is very bouncy. Monaco.
I can't wait to try it. I'm just reading.
It is crazy.
I'm just reading Bryce's comment. Bryce has written, wait, don't Audi have a Ferrari engine? No. No,
they don't. No, they've actually got... Cadillac have Ferrari engines. Audi actually have their own power units. So,
Bryce,
there you go.
I would have expected you to know that, mate.
Hashtag blame Bryce.
Very disappointed.
Mate, you can't talk. You thought Fraser and Ojeda were swapping at the Adelaide race.
To be fair, that was their first announcement. I didn't hear the second announcement.
Fair enough.
Actually, speaking of,
I'm the one that came up with that.
Yeah, and I wasn't. Was I even here? I don't know.
I don't know.
Speaking of supercars, very little news that we've seen, but they had the livery reveal of the Super Cheap Auto wildcard entry for Bathurst, and it looks the exact same as it did last year's.
It does, but I do like the little details of the black and grey little arrows sort of looking things.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice detail, but other than that, it's red. It's Super Cheap Auto. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, okay. I'll be honest.
But I still
it's got
like
a little
it,
bit difference. Actually, the biggest difference is the number. The number 15.
That's true.
The number 15 looks mint. Actually, I don't know why, but it suits... Next to Lowndes' name, it actually suited it pretty well.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I agree. I love it looks really cool.
It did have Make It Super. That's true.
No,
which
that's true,
which
yeah. But
was
it's still red,
cliche. Which was cliche.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Mega Super. I prefer saying Super Cheap Audio.
Yeah, well, now they got that.
Yeah.
I don't even remember much of last year's car. But it had a bit more yellow, I think, from memory. Don't know. Yeah, no, because they had like a... Was it last year that... You know, it was last year that they had like a tribute livery. Which wasn't really a tribute livery, but... Anyway. Still looks good, though. Besides from that. Shall we close up Formula 1 and just answer a few questions in the end, if you want?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the next thing we've got to talk about is the massive gap. So the next race is Miami, then Canada, and then Monaco. I'm actually keen to see Monaco because, you know...
Yeah, that was my point. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, back in the 2018 kind of days, there were... Or sorry, more like 2016 days, where like everyone was like, Red Bull's going to win because of the best aero package. Do we know who's got the best aero package this year? Like, I don't really know.
No, what? It's hard to tell. Aston Martin actually probably do, but they just haven't got the engine.
Yeah, I was going to say, they might actually be able to score some points.
With that being said, though, I really don't think we're going to get any super clipping issues in Monaco because it's just not fast enough.
No,
so that's going to be interesting. Maybe we might actually have some good racing, I hope. You know, we pray to God that we have a good Monaco race because we have not had a good one in a while.
I tell you what, though, they got to fix this battery deployment thing before they get there.
Oh, they do.
Because if they have the same incident there, someone's going to die. Like, genuinely, I think they're gonna. Bryce,
that's it.
No, I've just read Bryce's comment. No.
Why not?
No, I don't watch football. No.
Sure, mate.
No.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to look forward to Miami in 4 or 5 weeks, which is also the first round of AU4. So I'm keen for that. Very, very keen for that. We're getting very, very
big
close
weekend
to Formula 4. Much more exciting than Formula 1. Less
big
battery,
weekend.
more racing. So
yeah, well, actually, Courtney's briefly mentioned that supercars fill our void now for the next break for F1 with 2 rounds pretty much filling in those spots. Although I'm pretty sure the second doubleheader is the same weekend as the F1, I think.
No, wait, what?
Oh, wait, well, no, that's the week before.
No. So next week is the start of New Zealand.
Yeah, okay. So it will fill the gap. Nice.
And then after that, we'll have a month break.
Yeah, that's true.
Before Tassie. But yeah, it's like Formula 1 and Supercars have swapped for the next couple of weeks in terms of what their gaps. But what I am excited about, and I've already seen them upload stuff as we move away from Formula 1, is Supercars Rewind. Besides from the most shocking logo I've ever seen, they've uploaded races from 2024 and 2025 already. Which is cool.
I wouldn't really call that classic then.
No, but we're getting there. You know, the fact is that it's good because if you go to YouTube originally, they've got races up until 2015, and that's it. You know, ever since they went to Fox, they haven't really had much replays until now that they're finally uploading all those races. Okay. So it's really cool to see. I'm glad. It's definitely something that the fans want, and not every fan got to watch it last year. So, especially with KO, you know, you can only watch it every now and again if it's on 7. So this gives fans an opportunity to actually watch it properly. But yeah, I think that's a good. I like it.
Yeah.
What other questions? And we got the 6 hour this weekend, of course. We got 70 cars, which is pretty cool. We're not there this time around. We were there last year. It was just cool. Got any idea who is racing in the Bathurst 6 hour? King, I have no idea, but it's at least 70 times 3, give or take. I generally don't know
who, not how many.
I know, but I know that Tatani's racing. Good old Matt Tatani. Shout out to him. Racing Maisie Place's team for that weekend, so that'd be cool. But other than that, though, I think we've got, Isaac Hazard's racing. There you go, Bryce. Thank you.
There's a
Will
few supercar
Davo,
names.
Cam Crick, Dave Russell. Yeah. It's always a pretty cool event. I always love it. It's really, really cool. Yeah, Sandown. I like that, King. I did see that. I don't know if you saw this, Alex, but Sandown is getting their own 6 hour this year.
Are they?
Okay. But the way they're doing it, it's going to be split into 2 3-hour races.
Oh, like the Lemon did at the Bend.
Yeah. Which I think is cool because obviously the Sandown doesn't have any more enduros now that supercars aren't there. Courtney says Bryce Forward as well, who we haven't seen much of since supercars. I think he raced in the Super Mini Challenge as well recently.
It was at the 12 hour, though.
It was at the 12 hour with Volante.
In a McLaren.
Which was cool.
Or Aston.
In a McLaren. No, he was in the Aston.
He was in the Aston.
He was in the Aston. Bailey Hall was in the McLaren. Shout out to Volante.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
We know them well through our U4, so that's cool. But their McLaren looks really cool too. Just a bit of a side note. Their white and red one. I think they did a good job with that.
Actually, while quick little 2-minute topic. How good was it to be able to watch the Speed Series this week? That was at Phillip Island. I genuinely have never watched it before because it was always on a stand, and I don't want to pay for more subscriptions than I need to. So
That's fair.
I'm very happy that KO and Fox now have the let me just get actually. KO have the the broadcast for the Speed Series because it was genuinely entertaining. They had the Michelin Pilot Sport Porsches on. They had GT4. They had the Mustang Cup, the new one. Yeah, it was really entertaining to watch.
It was, and the gap between, the Saturday race.
Yeah.
Was it James Golding as well? And Isaac Hazard, the 0.002
6
was the end there. Oh, okay, but that's still pretty crazy for the first race.
Less than 100ths of a second. It's wild.
That's crazy. I didn't get to watch it much on Saturday, and Sunday I was pretty busy.
Well, unfortunately,
so I had to tune it in.
Someone did comment this online, I think it was on Facebook, but they only showed the top 2. It's true. They did only show the top 2. But they made it entertaining. For a 2-way race, they did make it entertaining.
Oh, well, that's good, though, at least. I'll have to watch it again properly. But, a bit more action would be good. I got to say another shout-out as well to where I was at Malala over the weekend. The Sukio, I believe that's how you say it, Time Attack at Malala, the first Time Attack, the first event there at Malala, which was really cool. Really cool turnout. We had Super Sport Miniatures there. We had Ivan with Jason, obviously his RX-8. There was a Commodore XL, nice Lancer, which you would like.
Actually,
it was cool. Really cool turnout.
Malala are hosting the super trucks, as in not the ones
they
that
are
jump, the actual proper trucks.
The actual truck racing,
which I really want to go see
in April.
I want to go see that because I've never ever been to see the truck racing.
Lucky for you, that's what we'll be doing. Whoops, because miniatures will be there, so Navan could be racing. Don't know. We'll find out. I haven't spoken to him about it, but those trucks will be mint. Courtney, Aussie racing cars returned this weekend at Bathurst. They haven't been to Bathurst in over 700 days, Alex. It's been a while. So it's going to be cool to see that as well. TCR. Now, TCR is dead again. But the leftovers, I suppose, will be competing at Bathurst this weekend as part of the Super TT class. That will be cool.
The leftovers.
Yeah, the leftovers. And then you've got the Trans Am series making their 2026 season opener or debut, which would be cool. Brock Payne's racing in that one. Todd Hazelwood has revealed his 420 Pies car, his Todd's Garage livery, which looks cool. I love yellow, love purple, so I can't go wrong with that. So, and I love pies, except for the footy team. But I'm just keen for a good weekend of racing again. We've been spoiled with the Speed Series, and now we've gone straight into Bathurst, and then we got the doubleheader in New Zealand. It's pretty cool.
Are they doing the TA2 and Trans Am together again?
I have no idea. I think so. That was a success last year. Like, that was incredible.
It was. I remember. I'll find it. Anyway.
So, yeah. Boy, don't diss the Mighty Pies. I just did.
It is.
Yeah, GRM in the Chev this year. That's right. Gone is they've traded in the Mustang for the Chev, so I'm curious to see how they go with that car this year.
So Ken confirm.
I'm keen for them.
They
are doing it.
They have both.
Oh, there you go. Very good, because Brock Payne's racing in it, so keen to see him in it. He was obviously, we know him well from the RX-8 series back a couple of years ago, but he was a standout last year in Trans Am, in TA2, sorry. So, I'm keen for that.
Absolutely.
But, shall we wrap tonight up, Alex? I think we
sounds good.
Did well. I know it's a bit short, but nothing wrong with height. But thanks everyone who has tuned in. Thanks Bryce, thanks Courtney, thanks King for joining in the chat today. And as I said before at the beginning, make sure you hit like button, subscribe button, and also follow our social media so you can be a part of the podcast. And also to see what we're doing. You know, we've got the brand new Sim Racing Adelaide that we're working hard behind the scenes on, which is really cool. So you can check that out for yourself. Come meet us. Come have a crack on one of the VR motion sims. Try to beat Alex's lap time. It's
not happening.
It's just a cool place. Apparently it's not happening, but if you ask Kavan, he's probably there now, doing it.
Not going to sleep tonight before he goes.
No. We all know what he's like. But thanks everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of the Cooldown Room Pod. Bye.
Bye.